What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Lucky. In today's episode, I'm going to be going over how to do the different layups and dunks in NBA 2K22 Next Gen. So first, we're going to go over how to lay up with each specific hand. And to do that, you're just going to move the right stick to the left or the right, depending on which hand you want to finish with. So if I want to finish with my left, I'll move it to the left. And if I want to finish it with the right, I'll just move the right stick to the right. The next move I'm going to go over is how to do the Euro step. And in order to do that, all you have to do is with your right stick, move it down and to the opposite hand of the ball. So in this case, I'm moving it down and to the right. And if I want to go with the left-handed Euro, down and to the left. Next, we're going to go over the spin layup. In order to do that move, you want to be driving toward the basket like with the two previous moves. And as you're driving, hold down the turbo button, so RT or R2, depending on what console you're playing on, and double tapping X. But release the back button, the trigger, before you go up for the layup attempt, otherwise you'll do a dunk. And it's the same thing no matter what side you're going from. The next layup that I'm going to go over is the floater. In order to do that with no turbo, you just pull back on the right stick and your player will just float it up there. It's good for when you're going up against big men in the paint and you're an undersized guard or something like that. I rarely use it because I play with a power forward, but it's something that you can add to your arsenal. So one more time, just pull back on the right stick and he's gonna float it up there. The next layup that I'm gonna do is the reverse. And in order to trigger this layup, you have to be driving down the baseline and you pull, if you're driving down the left side, you're gonna pull the right stick to the left. And if you're driving down the right side, you just pull the right stick to the right. And he does a little reverse. Good if you have somebody chasing and you want to avoid them blocking you, which, you know, blocks in this game is crazy. So he'll just reverse it off the other side. And like I said, to do that, you just pull the right stick toward the direction that you're driving from. So if you're coming from the right, pull it to the right. Coming from the left, you pull it to the left. And now to move on to what I'm sure most of y'all came here for, the dunks. In order to do the different dunks, they're gonna be very similar to the layups, except you're gonna hold down the sprint button and it's gonna activate a dunk. So this dunk from the left hand, just move the right stick to the left. If you want to dunk from the right hand, it's gonna be the same thing, just move the right stick to the right and finishes with that right hand. And then if you find yourself in a situation where you want to go with a safe dunk, just drop it in there, lower your chances of getting blocked or something like that. All you're gonna do, move the right stick up and he'll go with his safest dunk. Not too much flash or flare in it. All you're doing is pushing it up and it lowers the opportunity of you getting blocked. So that's what I like to use most of the time. So I highly recommend just moving the right stick up. The next dunk that I want to go over is the hop dunk. And in order to do that, all you're gonna do is while you're sprinting toward the basket, just move the right stick down and to the right or down and to the left, and that's the way he's gonna hop. As you can see, it's not that big of a hop, not like it was in previous 2Ks, but it's a little something something. It'll get your opponent jumping, I guess, and hopefully you can yam it on them. That's the way that I do my hops. I don't know if there's another way. If there is, let me know down in the comment section. The next dunk that I want to go over is the Euro step dunk, and in order to trigger that dunk, it's going to be very similar to the Euro step layup in that we're going to hold the right stick down and to the opposite side of where we have the ball. So in this situation, the ball's in our right hand, so we would take the right stick and go down and to the left. And if we were on the other side of the court, it would just be down and to the right. It's all dependent on what hand the ball is in. But the kicker is, after he begins the Euro step animation, you want to go ahead and hold the turbo button and he'll just finish it off with a dunk. So I'll try it again from the other side, and since we're on the left side of the court with the ball in the left hand, we're gonna move the right stick down and to the right. Wait till the animation starts, and then just press turbo, and he finishes it every time. Next is gonna be the spin dunk. It's the exact same thing as what we did with the spin layup, except this time, we're holding the right trigger the entire way through. And you wanna wait till you get a little bit closer to the paint, and finish it off. If you don't, he'll probably just throw up a little layup or something like that. I've done that a couple of times while trying to get this move down. But once you're in like the painted area, depending on your build and badges, I guess, you'll just initiate the dunk. And again, to do that one more last time, holding down the right trigger, running to the paint, double tapping X, and finishing off the dunk. Next, we have the reverse dunk, and it's gonna be the exact same thing as what we did for the reverse layup, except we're gonna hold down the right trigger. And I don't know if you guys are starting to see a pattern here, but for most of the dunks, it's gonna be the same thing as the layup version, just holding down the right trigger, as that's the dunk modifier. So for this move, it's gonna be the same thing as the layup version, in that whichever hand the ball is in, we're gonna move the right stick towards that hand, and he'll do a reverse dunk if we're holding down the right trigger. So I'm holding down the right trigger, moving toward the basket, move the right stick to the right, and he finishes it off. And lastly, I want to go over the forced contact dunk, where you pull down the right stick. It's very hard to time. I'll tell you what, I've tried it online when I'm playing rec, and it's super hard to time. So I rarely do it, but in order to do it, you just pull down the right stick and you'll see the meter come up, and you just have to time it. You see I missed on that one. It's not that easy. For some reason, it's just small. I gotta make it a little bit bigger, for me at least to see. But that's how you're gonna do that. And when you do that, it should almost always, every time, force the contact dunk, or force a dunk, which I guess is what's up, if that's what you're trying to do. That's gonna do it for this video. If you found this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, go ahead, drop a like down at the bottom. And till the next time we meet, peace.